welcome to the video everybody, and this video is a little bit different. I'm doing this one specifically with an audience in mind, which is the over 50s who are just starting out in camping or wanting a camper van, etc., or those people who are getting a micro camper and so on. Okay, so welcome to the channel. Please do consider subscribing. Things here are a bit of chaotic state at the moment. Let me just spin you around and you can see what I mean. I've taken the time today to try and do a deep clean of my camper van whilst I'm on site. Okay, now you have to bear in mind as I do all this and go through this, I actually live in my camper van. So some of the equipment I will show you today, because some people ask what equipment do you need, what are the basics, etc. Some of the equipment today are not particularly basic piece of equipment that you need for a week away or even a weekend away. Alright, so this is the camper. You can see I've got all my bits and pieces out still, or some bits and pieces out still, so don't mind the clutter. We like to keep it real. So in my camper I've got a two burner hob and a sink. Yes, there's supposed to be a glass cover on the sink as well, but I broke it. Well, I did make a video about that, but anyway. I've got a freezer. There's a little freezer box in there, along with a reasonable sized fridge for one person. In that cupboard there is the water bottle, so clean water, wastewater, as well as some cups and other things. If I open that door now, everything will come tumbling out, so I'm not going to do that right now. And in that cupboard there, I use that cupboard for my duvet, for my bed covers. You know, it pretty much fills that space up. So where do I put everything else? Well, I'm sorry to say that the front seats usually get, they're not usually that messy, but I'm going to tidy them up. You'll see them in a more tidy and more the state that it's usually in, but I've just dumped a load of stuff on there right now. I've done that because I want to utilise the space above the head there. This van does come with overhead lockers or bins, whatever you want to call them. So I had some food kicking around under there, okay, and I've just taken it all out, sorted it all out, and put it up there, okay. So it's a little bit easier. So I can use this space for other things, okay. So I like to use lightweight plastic bowls and stuff, and I keep my eye out for the bargains there. This stuff it just lasts forever, it really does. I have just a couple of pans, this being one of them from Tesco's, and this thing is brilliant. It gets to heat really quickly. The non-stick part of it is fantastic, so it's really easy to clean as well, meaning you don't use in as much water. The bleach I keep, and I just bleach all the sides down and the sink out and everything, and I'm going to do the floor in a minute as well. But if you look over here, this is where the chaos is. So all of this stuff came out of the van, and I need to put it back in the van in an ordered manner, okay. So let's talk you through one or two bits and pieces that I carry. So this is a Bluetti EB3A. It's currently charging up my phone, which is why I'm phoning you on the iPad right now. Oh, I've got another plate down there that I've washed, darn it. I missed it. Okay, oh, that there that the EB3A is sitting on, not the rug, but that there is my emergency toilet. It collapses down. I'll show you when it's collapsed down later. It collapses down to a pancake sort of shape. Out of the way, so it's easy to store, unlike a porta potty. More about these in more detail later. There's a microwave, an air fryer, a fan, electric kettle. I've got one of my laptops there. I carry two for work purposes. Tire inflator. I don't even know why I'm carrying that, but this is water and some power steering fluid there. Not water, sorry, washer fluid. So there's my bedding. I like to use a topper, and then I use this just to keep the topper clean and everything clean. So it's a teddy blanket, and then I've got my toweling or teddy canvasy cover for my pillows, etc. Okay, all my pots and pans. Right, so let's just talk about this. So these will all store underneath that cupboard there. All right, there's quite a bit more storage there than you think there is. Okay, and I can squeeze quite a lot in. This black and orange bag is for my 240 volt hookup. Okay, it's got my cable in there. This is just an extension. Hot water bottle, yeah, shopping bag. But more about those items later. I'm going to take my time now. I'm going to switch you off. I'm going to sort through this, I'm trying to identify what I do now need after 4 months of being in the van, what I do not need, what I do not need to use and carry around with me all over the place. Right, so I've started going through this, as you can see, and I've hit the state where I'm like, oh my god, how have I got myself to the state where I'm carrying so much stuff that I haven't used, don't need to use, or have upgraded and moved on from? Does that make sense? So I've got a bridge monkey in that cupboard over there as well. Do I need a bridge monkey and all these pans here? And the answer is no, I do not. I've got 2 rings. I don't have that many rings. So I think here I'm going to keep this, because this is not a pan, that's a steamer, and that's really good for my veggies. The steamer fits on top of that pan there. It doesn't come with that pan, but that pan's got a broken handle, and I always burn myself on it, but it's the one that fits this. So I'm going to keep those and I'm going to get rid of those. They can go, I've got a storage locker in Wakefield, they can go in the storage locker. So let's put those to one side. Straight away I've whittled things down just to this. Now the reason I don't need so many pots and pans anymore is because of course I've got my air fryer, I've got my microwave, and so they get used quite a lot. I want to keep this setup here, there, because I love to cook some boiled potatoes in the bottom. At the top I'll just dump in a bit of fish and some vegetables. So you're literally using one pan, one tiny little bit of water and the same amount of gas to cook an entire meal. So that is a real good top tip. Get yourself one of these that's got a steamer, a pan with a steamer. Okay, tiny little bit of water, same gas for all of it. Just takes a few minutes to cook up a nice fish, steamed fish dinner with steamed vegetables and boiled potatoes. Okay, this thing is one of my favourite pans because, as I said, it gets to heat very, really quickly, gets to temperature really quickly. You can just bop an egg in there, fried egg, and whack it between some bread, and it's done real quick. And it's very quickly to clean out as well, so that's definitely staying. I did have a whole selection of full-size instruments, but these came with the bridge monkey because they're tiny. They're small, they're lightweight, and they do the job. So I'll keep these instead of the big wooden handled ones. So if we compare it to these over here, for example, you know, these are quite awkward to keep in the camper because they're so handy and they get in the way everywhere. So as I've said many times on this channel, everything in your camper van's got to have multiple uses and not just one. And so my washing up bowl is doubling up as a storage bowl for cutlery, etc. And it's going to go in that space under there. Now I did have that, it was full of food before, but I've taken all the food out and I've made better use of the overhead storage cabinets this morning. And I had that under the bed as well. Now that's going to be stored away until it gets to the storage locker, and all of that is going to go in the storage locker, so I don't need to carry that around with me anymore. Okay, so that's fantastic. So already we're making really good headway. These little storage bags, I don't know if you can see them very well in this light, but these little storage bags are really cool. They're like little sandwich bags. They are designed for kids in school, but I don't care. I like the designs. Maybe that's my autistic brain, but I do like them. So what I do with these is I'll cook up, if I'm cooking spaghetti, I'll cook up double portions. So I'll put some spare in one bag. I'll cook up rice, I'll cook up double portion, put some spare in one bag. You know, you get the general idea. So if I cook a whole meal like spaghetti bolognese or chili, again, I'll do double portions. And then, believe it or not, I can squeeze a couple of bags, 2, maybe even 3 bags in the freezer over there for another day. And then I can whack them in the microwave when I need them. So yeah, goodbye. So let's quickly talk about these 2 items. I'm not going to unravel that, but that's got a long-ish cable in it, so I can go on 240 volt hookup. There's a socket back there at the back of the van. This is fantastic. I love this. Had it years. It's got a number of 3-pin plugs and USBs. So what I tend to do with this is I plug all of my devices, well not all, but quite a few devices into here, including my Bluetti you just saw a moment ago, as well as my 2 laptops, my iPad, my iPhone, my Fitbit watch that I'm not wearing at the moment for some reason, and I put it all into a big shopping bag, you know, Back for Life, the big canvas one. I'll go into McDonald's or Costa or Starbucks or Toby Carvery sometimes, and I just plug it in whilst I'm eating a meal or having a drink or both, and I walk out having paid my bill, had a nice meal or a drink, and got everything charged up at the same time. Okay, now I always ask, you know, I always go in and I say, excuse me please, if I'm coming in for a drink, do you mind if I plug in a laptop and a few bits and pieces? I don't elaborate, that's all I say. And they always say yes. If they say no, I say that's okay, no problem, thank you for letting me know, and I'll go find somewhere else. It's as simple as that. And I'll plug in there. So yeah, that's how I keep a majority of my things charged up all of the time. My mum's in a care home for dementia. That's all I'm going to mention about that, but I mention it because when I go visit her, depends on who's on duty, I'll ask if I can plug my bits and pieces in, can I charge them up if you don't mind, and they will say yes, usually nine, well in fact they've never said no yet. And I also take these bottles in. I have 3 of these bottles. Originally I bought them obviously from, where's this one from? Tesco, I think? I'm not sure. Tesco's, Lidl's, Aldi's, wherever, for drinking water, and I get those filled up at the home as well, and you know, wherever I can, really, wherever I can get them filled up, I'll get them filled up. And I also got a 13 litre tank in there that I fill up as well, that connects to the tap. So I use these then to when I leave site, for example, I leave with that all full, all my waste emptied, and I'll leave with 2 of these full, as well as a 2 litre, so that's 12 litre, so you know, pretty much tops it up one whole time. So I always carry spare water wherever I go, just in case, you never know. So yeah, table lives under there, okay, and this lives under there as well, but I've got an access point at the back for that, so let's go around here. I'll pop that in there. I have to make sure it doesn't foul on anything, because I have a motor well there, well it's an actuator really, but and this operates my electric bed. I'm glad I looked under it, because I've been looking for my keys and I found them under the bed. Good grief. Alright, so anyway, so yeah, so that's an electric motor. My bed is remote control, and I'll show you that later. Things are starting to come back together again a little bit now. My bed is as I always leave it. 15Q is a channel, a website I used to run. I'm going to get back into that, but that's not what this video is about. But yeah, I put my memory foam topper, it's not a memory foam topper, but I put my topper on there, followed by my red fleecy teddy bear blanket for comfort as well as warmth, and my 2 pillars, and my big pillar there. And we can see things are starting to thin out a little bit more in here, which is great. We're going to plug away at it. Now all this there is for the lockup, the storage unit. That pile is growing. I don't need to take with me, so the hot water bottle will join it in a second as well. But that shopping bag is the one that I put all my gadgets in when I go charge things up. Nothing fancy. Right, yeah, so let's crack on. Okay, so for me, having a little rug on the floor is a big must. It makes it feel a little bit more homely. Remember, I live in this van, but also in winter or at cold nights, it actually helps to subdue the heat, the cold coming up through the bottom of the van, and the heat escaping through the bottom, top down. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite handy. I think that was 20 quid from Tesco, I think it was. And in this space, just at the back of these seats here, will live some of my appliances. I'm going to put those in now. You can see what it looks like. I'm going to continue this on my iPhone, but so we can see it's a bit warm today by all accounts, so I'm going to go hide that in the shade somewhere. But anyway, this is what this space looks like now. You can see how we've got a lot less space here. Okay, but to be fair, you wouldn't really use that space to stand up and walk on or anything like that really. So, you know, it was unusable space really, unused space. So I've got my microwave, my Blue Yeti, my air fryer, and my electric kettle. Now they don't always sit there. For example, this does not always sit on top of here. Okay, it's just there for convenience sake, because when this bed comes out, that would interfere with it. All right, so I usually have my EcoFlow over in that space there, which is over there slowly cooking in the sunshine as it charges on solar panels. I'll show you more about that later, but the EcoFlow would generally sit in that space there, and then I can stack up the air fryer and the electric kettle on top, and then the this goes where those two spaces are there, so then it comes out nice and smoothly. Let's go check out the EcoFlow and see how that is doing. I don't think you're supposed to leave the EcoFlow out in something like that, but we'll see. So it did have about 44% when I first put it out here this morning on charge, and now it's got 75%, and it says it'll take 6 hours to continue to charge to 100%. I don't think it will take 6 hours, but and it's bringing in 63 watts, which is really poor for a what's supposed to be a 200 watt solar panel on a blazing hot summer's day. Yeah, I'm not happy with this solar panel. I will try and replace it with something a lot better than this. So with this van there is a folding table, okay, that goes on the inside as well as the outside. You get a little rail to hook it on, and when it's not being used, there away there, as you can see, just nice. It's supposed to be there for travelling, but I don't always put it away, I've got to be honest. Towels drying. Okay, so yeah, let's carry on. Let's see what else we need to do. Right, so let me think now. That's all for lockup. Not much left now, guys, not much left. I'm going to get this lot put away, then I'll come back to it. So all done and dusted. That stuff there is just toiletry stuff. I'll leave it out there till I'm done on the camp. That stuff there is for storage. I have a very special storage place for these items in the van. I will show you if I get a chance to at some point. There is the loo I promised to show you. And it's about 20 quid or something off Amazon. Really cheap, really cheerful, does the job. I'll move out of the way. So it's got a lid, it's got a seat. I also doubled it up as a bin because there's no human waste in there, don't worry. The second there is, it gets dumped. So again, as I said, everything's got to double up, everything's got to have more than 2 uses. And so for example, I'll sit there later, I'll use that to put my laptop on to watch TV on or whatever. This side of this awning, this gazebo over here, turns into a projector screen. I've got a projector in the van also. It's too light in the day to show you that. It doesn't work during the day really. Yeah, all good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my iPhone out the fridge and see if it's cooled down sufficiently enough. Yeah, it has. So I always put my phone in the fridge if it does that. It very rarely does it though. And I've got a juice in here as well. Oh, it's not quite cold, but I might grab it now and drink anyway. Oh, and I'll have a go. That's it really. All done and dusted. I hope you got some hints and tips. I've got loads more hints and tips coming up after 4 months of living in the van full time. Now, a lot of this equipment you will not need as a, you know, if you're just going away for a weekend or a week or whatever. So, you know, you don't feel that you need it all. In fact, as you can see, I've got too much kit and too much equipment that I do need to drop off at the lockup. In that cupboard there is my bedding, well, my duvet anyway. The rest of the bedding's on the bed, as you can see. But I've also got in there an awning, not an awning, sorry, a windbreaker that I bought cheap from Lidl. It was cheap, so I bought it, but I've not needed to use it just yet. No wind to break today, and you know, so I've not bothered. But I will do one day. And a tarpaulin, which is like an A-frame structure, and I'll show you a picture of that if I can fit one in somewhere. But yeah, and they're going to go to the lockup as well. I don't need to carry those around with me necessarily. And the gazebo over there is brand new. Okay, just bought it yesterday, and in setting it up, a pole is broken. So I do need to negotiate a new pole or a replacement gazebo and go outdoors. Well, that thing's been brilliant. You saw how we use it today to put everything in. so I can get everything sorted out. I'm really self-conscious. I do have autism and some anxieties that go around with that, and so I don't want my stuff on display for everybody to see. And imagine what my anxieties and stuff like that are like, because I'm the only person on the campsite and I still didn't want it out for anybody to see. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, look, listen, I am 55 years of age. I have autism, I have dyslexia, I have Burnside Butler syndrome, I have associated anxieties with that, and I'm living in a van. If I can live in a van and live this lifestyle quite comfortably and happily and confidently, then pretty much anybody can. So if you're thinking about going away for a weekend as a car camper or in a camper van or in a tent, just do it. Just do it. Just get on with it. All right. I find that wherever I go, if there are people about, they're quite happy to sit and talk, chat, get to know you, make new friends, make new contacts. I've got a business card here somewhere that someone gave me the other day. I was in the garage and I was cleaning out the van whilst I was doing some laundry. And they have some washing machines in some laundrette, in some garages now, and I use those. And we got talking. He pulled up in his camper van. It turned out he was on his way back to Norfolk, I think. Yeah, to Norfolk, having visited some family. And we got chatting. We shared a coffee, we shared stories, and we got to know each other. And he said, "Oh, look, I've got a piece of land in Norfolk. You can camp on any time you want. Just give me a call." And he gave me his business card as well. Do you know what I mean? I'd never met that person before that day ever. But if you're open to conversation, and even me, you know, I struggle, you know, with as part of the autism, I struggle to make conversation. I don't often make eye contact. You may see throughout the video I'm always looking in different directions. I don't generally look at the lens, and I find it very, very difficult to build relationships, make friends, etc. So I'm quite happy in this open field, all on my own, with nobody else here, nobody else to talk to. I love days like that. I love it when I've got no one to talk to. But you know, I know I'm in the minority, but it's, you know, often I'll get people come up to me, "Oh, you live in a camper, you're doing," and a big conversation starts, you know, is what I'm trying to say. So if you're on a tent, on a campsite, in a tent, or in a camper or in a car camper, people are going to want to talk to you, going to want to say hello, and you will, you know, you get to know people quite quickly around you. But anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it some use of some sort. If you did, then please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. See you in the next one.